welcome back to week 3 of building Air Kit in Lego. I know there's been a 3-week gap from last segment, week 2. I basically just had a lot of things going on the past 3 weeks with school and stuff like that. But during those 3 weeks, I was able to get what I think is a lot of progress. You can probably tell from the table that there's quite a big mess, and I'll go over that later in this segment. But you can probably already tell over here what I've been working on. I basically started building the Scout Tower, which will go on all 4 corners, but I started to work with this corner. And the good thing is, when I'm done building this one, which I'm not going to finish the Scout Tower by this segment, as you can probably already tell the progress that I already made on it. But when I finish building this one in weeks to come, I already know how to build it because I've already built one, so it'll be easier / a little bit faster to build the other 3, which will go on the other 3 corners. Let's go ahead and dive right into this week's segment. So during that time lapse, I was able to build some more of these walls. I don't have enough to finish this side of this base plate and this edge right here. That's not something I need to finish at the moment. So in last week's or the last segment, I said that I would clear all this out and start mapping out where all the buildings are gonna be in this mock. That is something I will do. Unfortunately, not all of the bricklink orders that I purchased are here. Some are taking longer than most. I'm going to start mapping out mainly this side of the mock right here, and I want to move all these pieces over here. If I have time or if I feel like it, I might just go ahead and map out all the buildings using some of these bricks as placeholders. So I'm going to go ahead and clear this out, and we're going to start mapping out where the Scout Tower is going to be, which should be roughly around this corner, and then the 2 unit transports, which will go on these 2 base plates. Okay, so I was finally able to start mapping out this base plate specifically, and I have like this like landscape section over here pretty much complete. Basically, I just take these 8x8 plates, cover them up with coral tiles and plates, and then I stack them, or I put them next to each other, and so I can actually take this up. Like, that's how I did it really. And then it just connects right here. It's off to the next plate. I was also finally able to map out where this first unit transport's gonna be, and also the Scout Tower. So right over here are the plans. And as you can see on this left corner base plate, I have walls going along the outside edges, which is what this border represents. Again, I'm not done with the walls on these edges. And then we have this Scout Tower, which will probably be positioned right about there. And then we have this unit transport. Obviously, it's not going to be completely square shape. It's kind of almost a circular shape. So this is roughly how big it's going to be. I think it will be big enough for Playscale Imperial Shuttle. There's supposed to be a new LEGO Star Wars Imperial Shuttle set coming out this year. I'll definitely get at most 2 of them. But I just want at least 1 so it can go on top of 1 of these unit transports. So this is basically going to be everything that's going to be on this left corner base plate. So I'm very happy that I mapped out almost all of it. I'm not done mapping out this unit transport, but it'll roughly be this big, probably a little bit wider. And I actually have this studio file open because I've actually outlined the unit transport on Studio first, and then I was referencing that when trying to build the outline physically. But so here's a prototype of the Scout Tower. It's kind of final in a way, except I need to swap out the pieces with the correct colors, and I actually have a picture of the Scout Tower here as reference. So I'm gonna go ahead and explain how I was able to come up with the technique for this Scout Tower. So I took off the walls that were here to show you guys a better look at the Scout Tower. So to start off, we're going to be taking a look at the bottom base for the Scout Tower. I use like these hinge plates to curve them to make this hexagonal shape. Then I put a 2x2 plate underneath it, stack some tiles on top for the hinge brick to go behind the hexagonal outline to make room for this tile border. And so I really like that. Later on, I will definitely get the tiles on these two sides of the hexagon. And then I took this 1x2 jumper and you put it directly in the center. So then after you create the hexagonal outline, you take this hexagonal plate. I didn't know I actually had these pieces until I found them like a few days ago, and they look really cool, and it gets the job done with this scout tower. So you basically put an axle, a Technic axle through it, and then you take some 2x2 round bricks on the bottom, like so, and then you put it directly on the jumper plate, and so that way it's directly in the middle of this hexagonal outline. And how I created these structures is I took a 1x2 brick with studs on the side, put some plates and some cheese slopes on both sides, and the cheese slopes need to face inward. And so then I put it on this piece. It's a 1x1 brick with the clip on one side, and then on this plate with the bar on one side of it. And then I put it like this on that brick and plate, and I folded inwards a little bit. So that's how I created this scout tower design. I hope you guys really like it. I really like this technique of like the sides with the cheese slopes folding inward. And again, there's gonna be gaps, but that shouldn't be an issue, and I don't think it'll detract from how the scout tower will look. And I'm sorry for the bad camera work. It's hard to show you guys how I built this technique, holding the camera in one hand and then holding the Lego structures with the other hand. So in the actual reference picture, there's like these blue light fixtures with like the light in the center on the hexagonal outline. I'm not sure how I'm gonna do that. This is what I came up with from the start. It's obviously it's not the correct colors. The white pieces need to be a medium blue, but I'm thinking just replace the 2x2 plate that I showed you guys earlier in the bottom of the hexagonal outline with the 2x3, and then connect it like so all the way around. So I'm gonna try and figure out that. If not, I can just figure it out later, but for the most part I want to get the majority of the scout tower done, which is going to be kind of difficult because, again, some parts are taking longer than most to get here. But I'm going to go ahead and do the best I can to try and color swap what I have so far with this scout tower. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. Okay, so it's actually been a couple of days since the last clip, and as you can see, I made quite the mess. What happened was I couldn't get all the panels to line up, and that is because how I built the structural interior to keep the panels up and at a slight slant going inward. Basically the filler, I was using like regular like bricks, and those have sharp corners. So when I tried to put in like this round hexagonal shape, they kept pressing against each other. And so because of that, I couldn't get all the panels to fit without one of them falling over. So I had to use these round bricks. And because these bricks don't have sharp corners, that allows for the supports to stay inward without pushing against each other. And I really like how all these panels are looking. As you can see, there's going to be gaps, like this gap right here. There's going to be gaps. That's unavoidable, but I'm honestly fine with it. I just really wanted to capture the slant of these panels folding inward, and I just really wanted it to be as accurate as possible to the reference material, which is the scout tower in the game. So I'm very happy with how this turned out. It was really tricky to get like this middle portion of each panels to line up, but I was able to figure that out, and I really like how it looks all around. It actually looks pretty much to scale, so when I build this top section, there will only be room for precisely one minifigure, which is good because only scout troopers are supposed to fit on here. If it can fit two, that would be great, but I'm shooting for it to fit at least one scout trooper. I would show you guys the interior, but unfortunately it took me a while to align all the panels correctly, so if I move one, everything will be shifted and it could possibly break. It is kind of fragile, so I wish I can show you how I did it. I can try going inwards. I don't know if you can see how I did that. That's basically the only change, was just using these round bricks instead of the regular bricks, just so the corners don't push against each other while going in a round outline. But so this is what the scout tower is looking like so far. This is all the progress I'm going to do this week. I wish I was able to do more, but this took up so much time, and also I was busy with other things And so I really do apologize for the 3-week delay from week 2 to this week, which would be week 3. But this is all the progress I was able to get done. I'm actually really happy with the way this is looking so far. And also I'll try to order more parts to get the correct colors for this like square light fixture. Just need some medium blue instead of white. So next week we're going to be working on finishing the scout tower. Hopefully I can get it done by next segment. If everything goes smoothly. But other than that, I'm going to continue to work on the landscaping and also try to find more 3x3 plates to start building more of these walls to create this outline and finish off the wall border that'll go on this edge and on this edge right here. And I had to like move the outline for the landing pad out of the way. I just made such a big mess. Hopefully by next week I can clean some of this out. It's just a lot. I just dumped it all because I really needed to find grade cheese slopes. So that's why you see I have this big pile of cheese slopes. But this is all the progress I was able to get done this week. Let's head to the outro. So this is gonna wrap up week 3 of building Air Kit in Lego. I think I got a lot of progress done. It may not seem like a lot, but I promise like this scout tower took a long time to get like the sides of the panels just right because I was having issues with stability and the panels were bumping up against each other. So like whenever I have tried putting the 6th panel on, all the others would fall because they just kept pushing against each other and it was just a mess. But I'm so happy I was able to figure out the issue and it looks really great. Obviously there's gaps, but that's unavoidable, but I don't think it detracts from how the overall scout tower looks so far. I'm honestly fine with these gaps. Maybe down the line I can fix it, but for the most part I like it. Let me know down in the comments what you think of the scout tower so far. I will try to finish it in the next couple of weeks. It just depends on whether parts can get here on time and if I have time to build in between each week. I really want these weeks to be cohesive like week after week, but it honestly just depends on the progress that I made and if I have time to record and edit these videos. That all being said, thank you guys so much for watching this week's segment. Let me know down in the comments what you think of the scout tower and the overall mock so far, and subscribe if you haven't already and click the notification icon so you know when the next week is uploaded to my channel, and I'll see y'all in the next video.